15-minute little turnaround, Jay, in the painted area. A 7-point game here. Next Bucks possession. They're running the ball again. How in the world is this not a walk? I guess that doesn't really matter. Giannis lays it up and good. It's a 4-point game after the free throw. Under 3 to play now. Lakers are up 2. Look at the ball movement. Look at KCP. 3. He was 7 of 10 from 3-point range on the night as he knocks that down and then looking for a dagger. It's LeBron James with just over a minute to play. They're up by 5. Now they're up by 8. 34 for LeBron, 8 assists and 6 boards, 25 and 12 rebounds for Giannis, but not enough as the Lakers get the win. And Jalen, I'll just ask you the same question I asked Timmy Legler earlier this morning. Are the Lakers just on their own level as we look at the entire NBA? Is it basically LeBron and the Lakers and everybody else?
Absolutely, and that's kind of how I see the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL. It's like if you had to take them or the field, you want to take the field because there's so many other teams. And then you realize that one team has Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Kelsey. And in the NBA, you realize one team has LeBron James, Anthony Davis, are the defending world champions, added Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell. You still have Kyle Kuzma. KCP made 7 threes last night. You could go on and on about this Lakers roster, the depth that they have, the experience that they have, the confidence that they have. So, yes, the Clippers can be a big-time foe, the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets. You know, there's so many other teams that are going to contend in the West, but the Lakers are on a entirely different level than everybody else. And it's almost sad to see the Milwaukee Bucks window close, Greeny. I know the last time I was on this show, I was trying to be the last of the Mohicans. Like, the Bucks are going to win the East, even though Kevin Durant got Kyrie Irving and James Harden. And then that same night, I was watching League Pass, and Giannis went 1 for 10 from the free throw line. And the big fella, while he's working as hard as any player in the league, is still shooting some air balls out there on the court. So I decided, Kevin Durant is winning the East. Kevin Durant is winning the East. Whoever's out there with him, they're going to win the East.
So it'll be the Nets and the Lakers, says Jalen Rose. Okay, the thing I also really wanted to get into today, as we approach the 1-year anniversary of the tragic death of the great Kobe Bryant, today is actually the 15-year anniversary of one of the most famous games he ever played when he scored 81 points against the Toronto Raptors. And Jalen, you, of course, were on that Raptors team. You personally gave up 18 points. We've had our share of fun with that. And you and Kobe, of course, had a lot of fun with that over the course of time. The olives, who will ever forget when he wanted 81 olives in his martini. And I just wonder, in the wake of what has happened over the last year, just how you look back on that today, 15 years after that night.
I can't lie, Greeny. I want to celebrate the legend of the Black Mamba. And for me, it was an honor to be the bug on the windshield as he had his all-time great scoring affair, the second highest scoring game in the history of the NBA. I'm glad it was his first time that his grandmother got a chance to watch him play, and all of the great things that come with the Mamba mentality. But the one thing I always tell people about that game, and I was a player that played with a lot of enthusiasm and talked a lot of trash or whatever. If you notice, those ain't really highlights. Like, if you ever watch Kobe Bryant play basketball, what you watching right there, those ain't highlights. That's just him putting in work. And he never talked trash. He never said anything. Because when you talk trash and you hit your chest and you point up at the sky and you do the airplane wings after every shot that you make, you know what happens? People want to hurt you. They want to double team you. They want to triple team you. They want to quadruple team you. And he did none of that. And I can't front that he's not here anymore. And this is like the first time that I guess I've talked about this since his passing. It hits different because I used to be able to still text him about this. See, the one thing a lot of people don't know about Kobe Bryant and I is we actually had a relationship, a friendship, and it just really feels awkward knowing that his family won't get a chance to see him go into the Hall of Fame. You know, he won't get a chance to, you know, have his statue outside of the Staples Center, and we can't in the flesh celebrate his greatness. But for this day, please honor the Black Mamba. Please respect his family. Send them your prayers and your well wishes and everyone that passed in that horrific helicopter accident. And again, there are going to be a lot of people that speak on the Black Mamba's behalf and represent his legacy. I'm really grateful that I got a chance to play in that game and got a chance to see his greatness up close and personal.
It's beautifully said. And I think for all of us, it just looks different looking back on it all now as we approach the one-year anniversary of that day. We will talk more about that next week. Jalen, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You are the best. And we have more NBA.
To themselves, there's no question about it, because they're just too deep for most teams. And they also have great balance in what they do, Greeny, because they can attack you inside and in the post, and they seem to win all of those individual post-up battles. And I thought that's the way they started out the game against the Bucks. Milwaukee decided to play Anthony Davis straight up in the post, and he went to work on them and scored at will. And then LeBron James beat him up pretty bad from the perimeter. And then that final component that you wondered about this Lakers team, would they get enough role-playing support three-point shooting? Well, they certainly got it last night. And this may sound nuts because it's a one-possession game with 2 minutes to go. The game wasn't that close. I just never felt, I watched every second of the game, and I never felt at any point that the Milwaukee Bucks were really in the game. And it was a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go. That's how easy the Lakers made it look at times. And so that's why right now, because of their depth and because of their balance and the ways they can beat you offensively, they occupy a shelf unto themselves, and they're clearly the front runner to win a title.
All right, so that's one side. And then on the other side, what do we say coming out of last night about the two-time defending MVP, Giannis?
A lot of the same things. He runs into the same issue sometimes because he lacks that finesse that the situation requires at times. And I understand he plays hard. He wants to oppose his will in the game, but he commits 4 offensive fouls in the game because he's got one way he wants to beat you, and that's downhill with force. And sometimes if a team can get committed bodies in front of him, it creates problems. Now, he had 7 turnovers in the first half, Green, 9 overall for the game. And again, 4 of those on offensive fouls. And then you see late some of the issues with his shooting reared itself again. You see the air ball there from 18 feet. He also had a really ill-advised three-point shot early in the shot clock that just completely played into the hands of the Lakers and what they wanted to do. And then again, went to the line and missed a couple of free throws in an important situation. So we know how dominant he can be in the way he fills up a stat sheet. He's a 2-time MVP for a reason, and he affects both ends of the floor. But the problem with this team surfaces every time you see him either in a tough playoff series or against a top opponent that's got a good defensive game plan. His inability to be able to use finesse, whether that means shoot over the top, shoot a mid-range shot, make plays off the dribble for other people, that's where he really struggles. And the Lakers allowed him to use that force against himself, really, in that game. I think he wanted it a little bit too much, and the Lakers had plenty of bodies in that lane waiting for him, and it's still the big question mark for the Milwaukee Bucks. Can they break through if they don't have that guy that can beat you from anywhere on the floor in a critical moment?
Well, so they took on the Nets this week and the Lakers, and away we go. Legs, thanks a million for getting up early with us here today. And we've got good basketball coming your way tonight. Our Friday NBA doubleheader kicks off with countdown at 7 Eastern, followed by the Celtics and the Sixers going head-to-head. And then we will have the Nuggets and the Suns coming your way after that. A good doubleheader. NBA action tonight on ESPN. Coming up, it is the story of the offseason. Our analysts will tell you the best landing spot for Deshaun Watson in 2021, and they just weighed in. Saturday night, it's McGregor and Poirier. In the next hour, Dana White will join us live talking about the enormous fight.